What's good, my peoples? It's the small things that matter. Because when you're thinking about the small things, you're thinking about everything. Because the big things are made from the small things. I mean, if you think about it, things just don't magically become big in your life, like issues, relationships or, you know, kids or school or work, like things don't start big, things start small. It's that snowball effect. And when you're really thinking about that snowball effect, you have to start paying attention to the little things, the small things, small habits, that is. Because we don't tend to really focus on the small habits. We tend to focus on the main habits. Take, for instance, a main habit would be more like activity, right? That's it's like main, like it's a lot involved in that. That's very broad, activity. Like that's a main habit activity. Now, what are the habit connectors? Is what I call them. Those are the small habits. What are them within that activity? So that could be, procrastination, time management, laziness, So the small things is what we want to start to understand because that activity doesn't have to deal with everything else in your life, like say finance. I mean, chances are you're not really putting activity and finance together, which obviously certain circumstances you could, but on a normal basis you wouldn't put those together. Activity nutrition, yeah, you might put them together. Self finance, you put that, so you intertwine those main habits. So they, those are the main habits, but then those habit connectors, that's the things that you want to focus on because that's the things that's going to allow you to be able to become who you want to become great. I mean, think about it. We all want to be great, right? You really want to be great, right? Because we all do, you know? And it's going back to the basics, is what I say, like I always say, kiss life, keep it super simple. And when you can do that, it allows you to really understand all aspects of your life that's going on. I always talk about the four values, your power, your purpose, power, energy, freedom, You want to make sure you have them. And when you're looking at those, you got that purpose, that self, waking up every morning, going back to the basics, just like you used to do when you was a kid. You used to learn stuff about yourself. And then you get to a certain point in life and you just kind of, let it go for some strange reason. And then sometimes you might try to search for it, but never like when you was a kid, because as you get older, you absorb so much stuff and you think you know so much stuff. But as a kid, you don't know nothing and you're trying to figure out things. So we must continue to carry that purpose. We have to carry that. And then the other value is power, so activity. When we was kids, we had PE classes, we played outside, sports, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to take it back to the basics. Like, you used to want to, like, know, like, oh, how do I do this? How do I play that? As we get older, we don't even care about our body no more. Like, we just like, oh, it's our body. I'm at this age. This is how it should be. Like, this is how much I should move around in the day. Like, this is what my activity. I ain't got all that energy like I used to have when I was younger. Ain't no need for me to really understand it to get that back because we can all have it. Like I say, we can all be great. And whatever you want to be great at, you can be great at it. So that activity. Then another value is that energy. So that's nutrition. So it's very important, and we want to go back to the basics, right? When you used to learn the food groups and and you kind of knew what you was putting in your body, and you wanted to know because it's like, oh, how did that taste, or or how do it look, like you wanted to understand all that stuff, But then as we get older, we fall back, and then we just lose that. Like we don't care what we really put in our body. We don't, you know what I mean? It's like now we got the chance to really understand it to gain that stamina. But it's that instant gratification, those little quick fixes, like I'm just gonna drink a lot of coffee, or I'm gonna do the energy drinks, or whatever it is. But we don't wanna learn, because the thing is, each stage of our life we should be learning, because we are growing in life, and we don't, and then we get, it's like, well, I'm not supposed to have stamina. Like I'm supposed to feel sluggish, or this is part of my age. When I get moving, I'll be fine, like that nutrition, And then the fourth value is, which is your freedom, finance. I mean, going back to the basics, I mean, when you're born, you're dead, like you're dealing with finances, but the simple fact is, you start off going through school, learning all the work, to work, to understand how to work, to understand how to contribute to society. And we just go through, but we doing that for what? To one day retire, to one day to gain that freedom to be able to do whatever we want to do. So again, it's taking it back to the basics. Like, when you was growing up, it was like, like money. You didn't understand it. As you got older, you did understand it, and sometimes you did understand it when you was younger. But we was learning, right? We was understanding what's a dollar, what's a quarter, what's a nickel. We get older, and it's like, hey, money is money, man. I got this amount in my bank account. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like we don't care anymore. So, like I said, kiss life, keep it super simple. Let's take it back to the basics, man, and think about those four values. So think about those main habits. You know what I'm saying? Purpose, power, energy, freedom. You know what I'm saying? Self, activity, nutrition, finance. When we can really just hone in on those four values every day, and now think about the little habits, the small habits that are happening with them. So those are our buckets. And now we just start throwing those small habits into them to now start to create our day. Now to start to understand, like, okay, so this is why I do this, or this is why I do that. Because really, habits are creating moments that are happening, right? Like all those habits, like I say, it's like that snowball effect. They keep rolling. You at work, like I said, that snowball happened. It didn't just happen. It was being created by the small habits, the little habits it was being created by, rolling into that snowball to become that main habit, like the activity, or like the finance, or, what I'm saying, like work, what I'm saying, like the kids, friends, neighbors, whatever. You can create those moments by understanding the habits. But it starts with the small habits. I call them the habit connectors. Like I said, procrastination, time management, laziness, you know what I'm saying? Temptations, like whatever it might be. It's a lot of them out there. You know what I mean? Self-esteem, you know what I'm saying? Confidence, like start understanding those habit connectors, because they are going to connect a lot with those main habits. You know what I mean? Like procrastination, right? That can be a part of self, understanding, who you are. That can be part of activity, you know what I'm saying? You just keep putting it off. That could be part of nutrition, I'm gonna start that tomorrow or next week. It could be part of finances. Well, when this happened, then I'm going to pay that or I'm going to do this, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, confidence, right? Like, I'm a confident person. Like, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm confident at that gym. I'm hitting the gym every day. I'm confident because I know I'm going to get those results. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm confident this is going to allow me to get that energy to be able to do whatever I want to do. I'm confident that I'm going to be able to pay all those bills off in 3 months. I'm going to be debt free. My credit score going to go up. Whatever. Like those habit connectors connect to those main habits, work, the kids, family. So just make life simple, right? Like these are the steps to making life simple, right? Understanding habits, to create moments, which is going to allow you to gain time to do everything that you want to do. So let's discover the greatness.